If you've been paying attention to marketing trends lately, then you've definitely seen AI everywhere. From tools to caption your social media posts to software that promises to run your entire funnel, it can feel like you are being bombarded with promises of plug and play success. But here's the truth. If you're a small business owner, you do not need to become an AI expert or a programmer overnight. You can absolutely use AI to make your marketing simpler and more effective, but you need to do it intentionally. Hello and welcome to another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. I'm your host, Jenny Lyon, and in today's episode, I want to give you a realistic beginner's guide to using AI for your marketing. So we're going to talk about what tools you can actually use, what tools do what, where you should start, and how to keep your brand human-centered. We want that human-centered voice at the heart of everything. Let's jump into it. So first things first, you have to really understand what AI can actually do. So let's start by busting a myth, right? AI is not a magic wand. It can't do everything for you. And, there's things that it's great for, things that it's not great for. So I definitely don't recommend using it to replace creative ideas or human empathy, right? But what it can do is save you a lot of time, especially on repetitive tasks. So for example, AI is great for generating a first rough draft of a blog post. It's great for suggesting email subject lines. I love to use it to summarize research, and you can definitely use it to schedule and repurpose content. So the way that I think of AI and the way that I use it in my business is I think of it as a super powered assistant. So it can really help you to organize your ideas. It can help you move faster through your workflow, but it definitely can't create a perfect marketing strategy for you. Unfortunately, that is still up to you. But here's a pro tip. You can make a list of what tasks eat up most of your time every day, right? Or every week. And then see, are there particular ones that might be a good fit for AI? Number two is to start with one simple project at a time. So I've seen a lot of my clients get really excited about AI and subscribe to 4 or 5 new platforms and then never use any of them because they feel overwhelmed. So don't do that. You definitely don't need to do that. What I recommend is just pick one. Pick one thing that you want to try and give yourself the permission and the space to just test it out. And then evaluate. Does it work for what you need it to work for? Is it making your life easier? Is it freeing up a lot of time in your day? So evaluate what works before you add anything else. So another example could be just starting with, one AI tool to brainstorm 10 headlines for your next blog post. Or you could test one of the AI social media caption generators to help you fill out your calendar. So just keep it small, that way you won't lose momentum. Another pro tip here is to set some time aside each week, maybe an hour or so just to experiment. That way you have plenty of time to explore without feeling like you're going to get buried in it. Step number 3, train AI to sound like you. So if you give AI those really bland, boring temps, then that's what it spits back out to you. So you want to make sure that you really do keep your brand personality front of mind when you're using AI. And remember, you have to train those tools. So some ways to do that are to collect the best samples of your writing, and then note the type of language that you like to use in your writing. Do you use humor? What type of phrasing do you use? Do you include emojis? What does that look like? And then feed those examples into your AI tools. So for example, if you always start your emails with like, hey there, friend, then you want to teach it to use casual, friendly language. So you want them to include that tone. So again, think of AI as this brand new intern. It doesn't know you yet. It doesn't know your style. It doesn't know your tone. You have to teach it. So another pro tip here is to create a swipe file of your best work. That way you can easily copy and paste examples anytime that you want to use AI. Step number 4 is to keep human checkpoints, right? Even if your AI is doing a great job, you still have to review it. AI can make mistakes, it can misunderstand context, and a lot of times it will create these awkward sentences that just don't feel right for your brand. So when you're using it, either yourself or your team, so we do this a lot for our clients, the clients that want us to use AI to create their content because it's faster, but then we also, send it through our team and our copy editors to ensure that everything is proofread. That if there are facts within the document, that those are fact checked. We're confirming that it sounds like you, it has your tone, it has your voice, it has your style. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I recommend, reaching out to us, because it's definitely something we can help with. Again, when it comes to really training your AI, I do like check-ins with it. I want to scan through, see how it's doing. If I'm using it in something, I use it as kind of for my outlines. I really want my audience to get my very best work. And so I still feel like, I'm the editor-in-chief. Okay, step number 5 is to respect data and protect privacy. So again, this is something I think people overlook, and that's what AI does. It relies on data. So that means that you need to be a good steward of your audience's information. So don't go into AI and dump sensitive client data into random tools. Make sure that you read the privacy policies of any of the platforms that you're using. And be sure that you're very clear on how they are using your data. And then also think about how you're collecting and storing your client or your audience data. Because our clients, our audience, they trust us. They trust us with their personal information, and we don't want to break that trust by being sloppy with the way that we process our data. So another pro tip here is to put a recurring calendar reminder every quarter on your calendar to just audit your privacy practices. It's a really good thing to do. Step 6 is to bring your team into the process. If you have a team, don't keep them in the dark. I've talked about this before. People definitely fear what they don't understand. In fact, I remember when AI started to kind of roll out a couple of years ago, my copywriters panicked. And I had a couple of them saying, I will not work here if you ever use AI, and they really worried about their roles being at risk. And, rightly so. But, we have to keep up with the times. If you're not thinking about AI in your business, then you're going to fall behind. And my business was the same. So I really wanted to make my team feel like they didn't have to fear what they didn't understand, and that their job isn't at risk. It's probably just going to change. So if you have a team, I recommend scheduling a short team meeting, which is what we did, to explain how you want to use it in your business. You want to show them how there's pieces of their workflow that it can make so much easier. And you can invite them in to test the tools or offer ideas. Because when your team does feel like they're part of this overall journey, then they're gonna get excited. All right, so pro tip here is just, let your team members, nominate 1 or 2 tasks that they want off their list. I did this with my team as far as, those repetitive tasks that we do over and over again. And it's kind of crazy how much time it's freed up and allowed us to really provide more value to our clients. And yeah, why not automate what you can? And then last but not least is to stay flexible. AI is changing all the time. The way that you use it today will definitely not be the way that you use it next year, let alone next month. And that's okay, and that's the key to it. We want to keep learning. We want to keep experimenting. So, make sure that you're staying up on it. Try new prompts, try new approaches, keep evaluating what's working, what's not working, because progress does matter a lot more than perfection. If you commit to testing some new things out, you'll see what feels good, what doesn't, and what will help you to build a stronger, more resilient marketing system within your business. So again, I'm doing this little series on AI because I've had a lot of clients express to me that it feels scary. It feels overwhelming. So I'm just recommending to start small, but protect your voice, protect your brand, and use the tools in a smart way. As long as you stay really intentional, human-centered, and creative, you won't lose what makes your brand special. And if you're ready to dip your toe into AI, or you're using AI, but you want to see, maybe there's other ways that I could be using it, then grab our free AI marketing readiness checklist. You can grab it at jennylyon.com/AI. It will help you to think about, which tasks can I automate? Should I automate things? But the idea here is that we want to keep your marketing authentic and efficient all together using our AI team and our human team. All right, well, that's what I have for you this week. I hope that you found this episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple helpful. You can always schedule a call with our team if you need help with any of your marketing, whether it's human-centered or AI-centered. We do both, and we also do an integration of both. So we're happy to help you with whatever you need. You can always schedule a call at jennylyon.com/marketing. And as always, I'll see you next time. Have a great week.